Good afternoon, everyone. It's been about a couple of weeks since we last had the last video put out, and since then, in the Ftse and the Bund, in the Bund we had a pretty big drop after we broke that significant 135.09 level, and in the Ftse and pretty much every index, we all pushed up to the upside, and we broke that big range that we were trading in for such a long time. And I'm going to concentrate on basically the Ftse and the Bund, and looking at those two again today. I'll just pull out a chart of the Ftse first, and this, looking back, this is the long-term 60-minute chart of the Ftse, and as you can see, we were in a wide, very volatile, huge range, sort of edging downwards, and we were in this big downward channel, and we broke the downward channel first when we broke over here at 52.11, and then afterwards we also broke the top level in that channel that we had earlier at 53.75, and then since we broke that, we sort of headed quite a bit higher, and we pretty much had a 120 point move to the upside, and now we've sort of come back down, and now we're just playing within all these small levels that we have over here. And so it looks like now a significant point in the Ftse which is sort of stabilised around once we rallied past that initial breakout of the big range, and what we bounced off is the 53.25.5 level, and so that seems to be pretty significant right now. And we're sort of forming a head and shoulders pattern here as well, so this is a sort of slightly uneven shoulder right here. The first shoulder is at 54.37, second one at 54.60, so about a 20 tick difference between them. The head, just the high that we got to, is 55.20, and then since then we've pretty much come off 100 odd ticks, and so if we drop another 50 ticks, we'll be testing that level again. And I reckon if we break, we could be looking somewhere around 52.90 as the first level, and after that we're looking at maybe testing somewhere near this trend line that we have, and that is pretty much back in the low 5,000s. But since we had this ESF thing and all of that, I still think the upward, like I mentioned last time, the bias is towards the upside. So I'll be surprised if we see 5,000 again, but never say never, really. So and if we go into a shorter time frame in the Ftse, we can see here how we've pretty much just been trading in small range. We've been trading in this range from 54.09 to 53.75 for a good amount of time, and then since then, once we broke 53.75, which it was hugging for quite a bit of time today, we broke through, and then we went down 35 odd ticks, bounced off this 53.40 level, and then we almost tested that 53.75 again. Didn't quite get there, got 2 ticks below, but once it got near that, it sort of that acted as the previous support, acted as resistance, and now we've come back down again. So on a very short-term basis, I'll be looking at 53.75 as a sort of point of control, see where this turns up, whether we're going to head up to the 54.09 or whether we're going to test 53.40 again and perhaps go lower and test 52.90 as I was saying below. So that's something I'll be looking at for in the Ftse, but definitely I think it's found its place around these areas, in this between, I'd say, 5300 and 55, and I think it'll take some big news for it to significantly break out above or below each way. Looking at the Bund, which we're trading at 35.65, and we were saying before how 135.11 was a huge level, and it broke big, and it went down big. If we go back to where we were before, this was the chart that we had, and that was the first bounce over here from 135.12, then we bounced again, and at that moment we went to 135.01, and we bounced up from that level 300 ticks, and then when we came back to it again, we bounced off it, good for 100 ticks. I think that was on that was the retracement after non-farm that we had a couple of weeks ago. But then after that we sort of bounced off the 50 retracement level on the Bund, and no, not the 50 retracement, the level that we had over here, which was 135.89, and then it was just a one-way street back down as equities went up. We broke above that level, broke beneath 135.11. We sort of came back up, tested it, and there was too many sellers there, not enough buyers to push it back up, and then pretty much down we went. And then it sort of kept on testing that level, and then straight 250 odd points to the downside, 200 points. So it was a very, very good move on the breakout of that number, at that level. You had to be patient and you had to wear it, but if you had to stop above that level you would have been fine, but you had to be patient. But the move did come, and then after that we pretty much bounced and got near that level again, came off, and now we've back above that. And looking at it now, you can see the volatility is totally reduced relative to what we had before. We're trading between 135.89, which was that non-farm, pre-non-farm level, and sort of playing between 134.37.50. So it'll be very interesting to see what will happen in terms of that now. So again, just like the equities, I think it would take a lot for the Bund to hold below 134.37 or hold above 135.89. I guess it would all depend on how things plan out, as usual with Greece, as that tends to be the headline grabber every day, and every day whatever's happening in Greece and in the Eurozone in general is determining which way the market's going. So you try to play the technicals as best as you can, but you've got to listen to the fundamentals, which is very important in determining direction right now, as we're playing off each comment, each event which is happening. So if we go to a smaller time frame and we look at the Bund right now, you can just see it's just been very, very tight. Very, we're looking back and it's very, very narrow ranges. Since today morning, since 10, we've been pretty much trading in a 16 tick range. 16 tick range. I've just been doing absolutely nothing. And then after that, this is where we got the push up. We pushed up and we broke out that range to the upside. Had a 20-25 pip pop up, and then since then it's just been gradually going higher, and now we're trading at 135.66. So again, we're in the middle of no man's land now. As you can see, I've got no levels around this particular area, so I'll be looking at 135.89 with much interest, pre-non-farm level, and to the downside there's quite a few, 135.26, 35.01, which is still a pretty significant levels, and then we go into the 34s. We look again at this, but if we look at the Fibonacci points, if we take the whole move down, the whole move from 38.74 down to 32.94, it's a good 600 points. And if we look at the Fib retracement levels, the 38.2 level is 135.28, which we actually broke through. The next significant point is the 50%, which is 135.95, which is close to coinciding with the 89 level, and then going up further 136.63. So these are the sort of areas that I'll be looking at and seeing what the price action is around those levels to determine how I'll be trading it. And so that's that really for today. It's going to be pretty interesting how it's going to go going forward. All the spreads, just a quick word on spreads. Spreads have been pretty stable lately. Just it's been very tradable. It's given the opportunity to given good opportunity to make your half ticks if you're getting at the right levels. Looking at the Deck 12 March 13 spread right now, and just have a quick look at that. And as you can see on the 60 minute, it's been trading pretty nicely sideways. We've shifted slightly upwards, but nothing that hasn't given you an opportunity to go out. So we're looking at between 8.5s and 6s for this particular spread, and have an upward bias. Like today, I was just selling 8s, 8.5s, pretty much as I could, and that's it really. And it's worked out pretty okay on that one. You could have got 8.5s at market, plenty available. So as the ranges go, that's been that, and it's been pretty similar with the rest of the spreads. So hopefully continues like that, but with a bit more volatility, so we get a bit more easier to get in. And yeah, that's that for today. I'm just going to do a quick summary.
Imagine what's the time?
These are the Ftse levels, Bund levels. You can always visit the blog at euribortrader.blogspot.com. Till then, I'll